Over the past few decades, the world has made great strides in the fight against poverty. According to the World Bank, the number of people living in extreme poverty has declined from nearly 1.9 billion in 1990 to roughly 650 million in 2018. This is an incredible achievement, and it is due in large part to economic growth in developing countries. However, there is still much work to be done. Based on 2017 numbers from the World Bank, a little bit less than 700 million people globally were living on less than $2.15 a day, which is the new international poverty line as of fall 2022. And while this number has declined since 1990, it is still far too high. In the United States, the official poverty rate was 11.4% in 2020. The pre-pandemic rate in 2019 was 10.5%. The good news is that with 2020 being the exception, we've seen an annual decline in U.S. poverty rates 5 years in a row. However, there are still about 37 million people living in poverty in the United States. There are many causes of poverty, including conflict, disease, environmental degradation, and lack of access to education, food, and financial services. But with continued effort and cooperation, it is possible to further reduce the number of people living in poverty and create a more just and equitable world for all. In June of 1998, all heads of the UN agencies signed a statement defining the term poverty. The statement read, "Fundamentally, poverty is a denial of choices and opportunities, a violation of human dignity. It means not having enough to feed and clothe a family, not having a school or clinic to go to. It means insecurity, powerlessness, and exclusion of individuals, households, and communities. It means susceptibility to violence, and it often implies living on marginal or fragile environments without access to clean water or sanitation." After the World Summit on Social Development in Copenhagen in 1995, the UN recognized the need to reduce overall poverty, as 117 member states adopted a declaration and program of action dedicated to this cause. What is significant about this concept of overall poverty is the idea that the UN considers it present in all countries, whether it exists as mass poverty in many developing countries, pockets of poverty amid wealth in developed countries, or the utter destitution of people who fall outside of family support systems, social institutions, and safety nets. Poverty has made itself a presence in everyone's lives, whether it is in the form of a classmate, colleague, a friend in the neighborhood, or a friend in a neighboring country. Below are several quotes on poverty from past and present prominent leaders, defining what poverty looks like to them. In this article, we've collected the best quotes from those leading the fight against poverty, working to create solutions that help support the global poor. And our hope is that after reading this article, you'll feel inspired to get involved and take action too.